Hello, my name is Cynthia, and I love everything nature. I believe that we all have a spirit and that we all have a soul, and it isn't just a part of the human condition. Hi, welcome to class number 2 of Spirit in Session. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about where religions came from and what is it all about and why are we so held in the hands of religious activity. So where did religion as we know it come from? In today's culture and society, we are dictated to by about 2,000 years of Christianity. Jesus actually was a Jew, and he began his journey looking to teach the Jewish laws, and he was a rabbi. So how did that get to where we are today in Christian faith, and what's happened in the past short while to change that viewpoint somewhat? The Enlightenment period is what shed the light on New Age spirituality. It started to bring into play this conversation around the self or the ego, or finding yourself on a personal journey of faith of some sort. So the New Age spiritual movement has shifted gears into thinking about self, and that never happened before the 16th and 17th centuries or the Enlightenment period. This New Age spirituality, or new way of thinking, has led us into what Kinast calls critical thought. Now, I've put the book, if you're interested, in the notes so that if you wanted to get it, to read about it, then you could. And he talks about how that critical thinking has become key to our modern society, to the way we are today. But many times we think about critical thinking as being negative, and it's not. Critical thinking in Kinast's approach is that it's an honest search of truth in comparison. So it's a matter of looking at something that you believe as an ultimate truth and comparing it to other stories, other maps of the world, or other maps of thought, and asking yourself, is what I believe actually true? Marcus Borg, which is one of my favorite authors, he talks about something being true but not being factual. And that's another way that we can look at things, is that how do we believe something to be true without it being factual? I often will relate back to the thoughts of Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. Now, as children, we believe in these characters literally. We are told the story when we're young and we believe it. We have no reason not to believe it. But if you have a child in their teenage years or an adult who still believes literally in Santa or the Easter Bunny, then there's something that we question in that area of thought or that belief. So how do we believe in Santa or the Easter Bunny without believing it factually? Well, we believe in it in the essence of truth, that the essence of that which we know to be Santa Claus, which is giving and love at Christmas time, then we believe that in the essence of it. It's the same as the Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny's been born out of a history of mythology. And we can look back at the stories of the Easter Bunny. But children go looking for eggs. And I mean, there's a point in time where they begin to know that Cadbury is who produces the eggs, not a bunny. So this is where we have to bring critical thought into the forefront to be able to really review what is it that we believe in our lives that can either be an essence and be truth without being factual, or a time when we need to change our faith or our belief in that which is the core of our very essence and being ourselves. Can you hear the robin? I think it's a robin. It could be a cardinal. I am not an expert in the voices of birds. But what I do know is that birds don't sing because they're told to. They sing because they have a song. They sing because they know in their very essence and their being that it's what they're meant to do. Its purpose, its meaning, and it's wonderful for our ears to hear the birds chirping. So what does it mean to question basic assumptions? As a third liver, I have lots of history from when I was a younger woman, of which were things that were given to me as basic truths. When I was a child, my basic truth was that I was never good enough because my mother never believed she was good enough. She always was really hard on herself, that she was never good enough. And I was steeped in that basic assumption. And I had to grow through that and teach myself. I had to critically think about what does it mean to be good enough and to be enough, period. And I went through many, many years without knowing the answers to that or without knowing my own critical thought on that subject. So I want to ask you right now, what basic assumptions have you been given as a younger adult that you still carry with you today that are maybe no longer true? So what does it mean to question basic assumptions? I know that one example that I give for people, and it's based on a Christian assumption, is when they began to pull the Lord's Prayer from the schools, and people were taken aback by this, saying that it was such a bad move and morally the schools were regressing, etc., etc. The same with Christmas trees, pulling Christmas trees from the marketplace. The basic assumption of those two beliefs is that we are a Christian society. Because if you come from Jewishness or Islamic faith and you were to land here completely unknowing, if someone was to say the Lord's Prayer or ask you about a Christmas tree, you would simply just not know what they mean or where they come from, because they are from the Christian tradition. So these are basic assumptions is what I'm talking about. It's not whether they're right or wrong, because I'm not here to debate whether we should or should not say the Lord's Prayer in school. And I'm not here to debate whether or not Christmas trees should be allowed in the marketplace. What I am here to discuss is talking about basic assumptions. When you have a basic assumption, can you be curious enough to ask enough questions to then validate that basic assumption to yourself and know that it really is what you want to continue to believe? So here I am out on a hike today, 4 kilometers. And as I finish up with basic assumptions, I want you to really look at what is your basic assumption in life. My basic assumption is that life is to be lived, and it's a beautiful place to be when we really dig in to who we are.